One, two, three.
Oh,
Oh, we are live.
too much coffee for you.
All right. Yeah, I got a little bit of coffee. I got tea. So I got this. Right?
You got
So
the
I
energy.
totally
All right.
understand.
You're going to have to
That's
share it
right.
with everybody else.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. So today we're gonna have Hector wake us up even more because what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do today? It is flat sheet framework script. You see the growth work. You know is pretty content and dense. So we're gonna have Hector to wake us up. I'll just wait a couple more minutes. I see some people are still flowing, coming in. Good afternoon. Oh wow, Himley. Good evening.
Himley.
I know
Himley.
our session has
What time
been
is it by
pretty late
Himley?
for you. Yeah. Let's see. Hi, Evie. We got a European representative here. High five, high five. One more minute. Then we'll have Hector.
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock in the evening.
I know,
10
right?
o'clock in the evening. Okay.
By session 7, I kind of remember where you guys at in the world. So I know Himley, it is 10. And for Sunday mastermind session, I know it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. I think Caillou dozing off, but you know, you have that drive to come to
I did not attend the last
you.
3, so I need to catch up.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I know the session is really late for you, so good job for keeping up. I really very proud of you for doing that. It's not easy like rest of us in the U.S. So, all right,
It may not be easy, but it's worth it.
That's right. That's right. Good point, Hector. Well, now we have Hector here. Like, I hope you guys all ready. We'll kind of get some movement going, so that way we can be in line with body, mind, and we're ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all yours. They are yours.
Okay, beautiful. Everybody, today we're going to get really warmed up. Look down at your feet, and hopefully you're all standing, and make sure that they are shoulder width apart so that your feet are about the same distance, okay? I'm going to turn sideways. You stay right where you're at. All right. So I'm turning sideways, and this is what I want you to do. Now that you're looking at your feet, come back up towards me. Look at me, okay? And you're going to put your hands right here in front of you. I don't know if you've ever played that game where it's like this, a patty cake, right? We're going to do something like that, but instead, I want you standing. And the reason why I want you standing is because we need to release all that energy that's trapped in our lower back. So you're standing, okay? Hands on your chest, all right? Take your left hand, put it on your chest. Leave your right hand there, and all you're gonna do is just push it this way, okay? Across. There you go. Bring it back. Switch the other direction. And we're gonna do this 10 times, but I want you, the idea here is to keep your feet right where they're at. And when you move that's right, you're gonna turn your body, but you need to stretch out that hand. And when you get out there, you bring it back. I want you like you're grabbing something. This is called the modified, what we call it the lawnmower pole, right? For those of you that have pole, you're gonna reach across, pull it in, reach across, pull it in. And we're gonna do that 10 times. Are you ready? Here we go. Hands are in here, right? And we start with the right one, push it over to your left, and turn your body. That's it. And bring it back. Go to the left, and bring it back. And that's 1. Ready? 2. Right? Bring it back. 3. Bring it back. And that's just 2. We got 10 more to go. Keep it going a little bit faster. Okay, that's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. There you go. Not too bad. So the harder you do that, the more you want to flex right there. Just kind of relax, move back and forth. That's it. There you go. Try to keep your hips from moving. Don't turn your body. Hips stay straight, and only the top moves. There you go. Only the top moves. Very good. Very good. Okay, now bring your hands up really high, up, 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 up. Bend your knees as far as you can. Keep coming down. Ready? Now bring your hands down. Touch your legs and straighten up. Throw your hands up in the air. Just gonna do 3. Ready? Bend your knees as far as you can, and touch your legs. And come up and throw your hands up again. One more time. Bend your knees, keep coming down as far as you can. Touch your legs, top of your legs. One more time, come up. There you go. Okay, now, that's not the last one. Ready? Take your hands together, put them right here. Take a deep breath. Bring your hands down, nice and slow as you breathe out, and park them right over your belly button. So your belly button is right in the center of your hands. Make that little triangle, okay? Take a deep breath and close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, breathe in, breathe out. Last one, I want you to take a deep breath and hold it. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you breathe out, just drop your hands to your side. Let them naturally drop. Stay there with your eyes closed. Stay in that moment. Feel your body. You should feel a tingling somewhere. You'll feel a little bit of a heat. Sometimes you might feel a little bit of current. Just feel it. Keep your eyes closed. Keep that. That's being in your coherence with your body, okay? That feeling that you feel is your body being connected to your mind. Feel that? Okay. And now you are ready to give and to receive. You're going to receive information because you're going to give it to your clients. So this is an exchange. Life exists only in exchange, not in potential. Stay in this mode, be ready, and follow your dreams. Thank you for following.
Thank you.
All right, Athena.
Thank you for doing this part
You're
of us.
welcome.
I'm more aligned with my coffee. I think my coffee had toned it down a bit, as you can see. All right. Well, sounds like Matthew McConaughey, huh? All right, so today we are going to do a deep dive of what we have been sharing with you guys on Sunday Mastermind. So what we will be doing, we're not going to really start doing the work yet. There's more deep concept that I need to dive it down. So that way, Mike will take over on the implementation side. That will be the time you actually have opportunity to practice. I was thinking about squeezing some of the activity that you can do it today, but it's just too much information. I need to deliver that part first for you guys to have the understanding. So by the time a Friday comes, that we be able to connecting that dots. Otherwise, you like, huh? So that's why today I want Hector to help me put you guys in the state to the point you could be full on focus. So, but I just want to let you guys know up front, you don't have to worry about taking notes. It will be a lot of notes you need to take on. Then your mind won't keep up of what I have shared on the screen. So I will share the presentation. I will upload that into our growth work guide number 2. So all you have to do, if you could, just stay awake and be alert, pay attention to what I'm saying. Whatever is on the screen, whatever I'm sharing in the live video is going to be recorded. So don't worry about it. If it's being recorded or not, there's a replay and there will be a slides presentation for you to go back on to rewatch it. So your main job is to stay focused and stay awake for me, okay? Great. All right, so I will go ahead and pull up the presentation, the growth work I want to share with you guys today. Let me close some other tabs so I don't get myself confused with multiple things. All right. That's just so you know, a lot of things that we're sharing with you guys and what we're doing when we're doing the presentation is pretty much sharing with you guys whenever you're doing your launch. That would be a smart thing to do so you don't get yourself overwhelmed. Just one tab, that's all you need, right? If that's what you're running is your presentation. So like I said, today I'm going to do a deep dive on the hook and story part. So the flagship frameworks actually have hook, story, and offer. So the offer will be next mastermind session, which is this coming up Sunday. But right now we are just going to dive in on hook and story part. So before I do that, I want to let you guys know this chart is actually the growth work number 7. I transferred that data into the graphic format. So this is not something new. This is just something visual for you guys to know, to do it like a tick. Okay, I did this headline. I did the goal for the event. I know I already have a slide for my avatar. Who is my avatar? And I have a slide for origin story. And then I have a conclusion for origin story. I have a GIF. I have 3 limiting beliefs. Put it in. So all those elements is in your growth work number 7. This is the whole thing. And that's what I'm going to be focused on today, is this part of the flagship framework. Okay. So, before I forgot. So basically, if you are a level 1 launch, all I want you to pay attention to is the hook part of the growth work number 7. So your job is to pay attention to this part until where I said gift. You don't have to worry about the limiting belief stories yet. If you are beta launch or if you're doing a public launch, then you want to practice adding those 3 limiting beliefs in. The reason why is level 1, you only have your accountability partner. They're not your ideal avatar, not your ideal client. So there's no need to handle the limiting belief yet. But if you're in the beta or public launch, you already have at least 1 ideal client sitting in your event. And you have to learn how to handle the objection. So that's why if you're level 2 or up, you're going to be practicing not only the hook, but you also need to practice the story part, handle that in 3 stories. Okay. So that part is covered. I want to kind of give you an idea, expand on it, or actually make it visual of what Mike was talking about on Sunday Mastermind. What did he mean by it's the same framework when you're running the event? It's the same framework. This is where the event is. It's the same framework as of your pay program. If you haven't been developing the course, coaching program, or one-on-one, this is all pay program. But this is where you're going to hold your event to get people to buy from you. So of course, we usually recommend people to do one-on-one or small group coaching. So that way you can fine tune your framework to make sure it fits your ideal client properly before you made that as the ultimate program, which is your course. Otherwise, you'll be spending a lot of time creating a course. Nobody's going to buy but you. Okay. So this is what we meant by the same framework. So usually you deliver this type of framework, like 1, 2, 3, like what we've been sharing with you guys. Either you create 3 to 5 steps or just 3 steps. Personally, I like to do 3 steps, it's just simpler. And you can organize other sub steps like what we have done in the Launch Lab into, the other part of the program. So under the planning, there are 3 sub steps. Under the personal branding, there's 3 sub steps. Progress, 3 sub steps. But it's the same step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So with that being said, the next part of it we want to do is before we create our presentation, the first we got to get clear of our offer. What exactly are we offering? That's why I was honing it down with you guys. And the weeks after weeks, we've been talking about the frameworks, been trying to help you guys get clear of your framework. That's why it come in place. You got to be able to have a clear idea what is your pay program look like. So basically, since I'm going to be talking about the presentation part of the process, I'm going to create an event that is talking about a webinar in the sense, since we're going to talking about event. I'm going to create a webinar format today as a demo to show you how I can zoom in on one section of my framework. I expand that in my 1 hour webinar. Okay, so that would be the main theme. I'm grabbing this as a main theme. And I'm using this main theme, and I'm going to share with people my origin story, which is the overview of my framework. That's how I choose to just let people, because eventually I have to be able to sell this whole entire framework. So I kind of want people to know the reason why I was able to develop this framework is because I walked through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So that is to let people know. The whole point is to get connected with my ideal client, get to share with them why I got so excited about this topic, why I teach what I teach. Is because the story, the end result, I got that benefit from it. And that's the benefit I got is the same benefit you all looking for. So that's why I shared this part as an overview of my framework. But it doesn't have to dive into every little detail. It's just a quick overview, boom, boom, boom. So I'll share with you just a second. So that's a step 2. This is actually for people at beta launch or public launch. This because I'm talking about story here. So people in the trial launch, don't worry about it. You just listen to like this is your, kind of like a back end story. You just listen to. Because your next launch is gonna be trial, the beta launch. So you want to at least have a sense of it. So that way you're prepared for your next launch. So you need to understand this part first. So that's a second part is to understand how to create origin story. The third step I want you guys to think about. Okay, we're gonna embed the 3 limiting beliefs that people have. We turn that into the story. As you know, people listen to the story because they think it's your story. But in that story, that answer to the limiting belief they have, because it's a common limiting belief. So that's why I pick why the solution story is in session 2. I just want people to know why we should focus on building a business on Facebook. I will give them the reason why. And I choose session 2 is because it's easy for people to understand, because most people are already on Facebook, so then they know what Facebook's about. So in an internal block, I will be tackled on the time. People say, well, I don't have time. Skill, I don't have a skill to do that. Or people say age, like, well, I'm too old to do for this. So at that point, I will, using my session 5 to answer those questions about those limiting beliefs. I'll share more detail with you later. Same thing with the external block. It will be handling on the money, spouse, and status. Status means, will my situation improve? Would I be better before I join your program? So at that point, I'm going to be tackling mindset. So that's why I choose session 1. So when you are starting, especially when you're in beta, it'll be a good idea. You kind of have a same kind of the framework to pick and choose what would be the story that you're going to be using for those limiting beliefs. And then this is what you have seen on Sunday. It's just more of a refresher, nothing new. And this is when I was helping Esmeralda doing a Q&A last time in the launch lab. She gave me her teaching point, her framework. Framework number 1, prayer and positive mindset, healing based on the powerful information. Second teaching point, step 2 of her framework, a customized nutrition plan and detoxification. And teaching point number 3, step 3 of her framework is the balancing central nervous system with the corrective chiropractor. So that's how I can help her choose. Okay, so now you're going to be connecting dots. Okay, which part of my framework? You can think about it. You don't necessarily do it right now, but you can at least think about it. Okay, what are my 3 step of my framework will be good to fit in why this solution. And you can basically link that into that story. And I say, okay, what would be a good for my teaching point for the internal block? And what would be for story number 3? So this is her choice. And you're going to have to, you're going to be doing this kind of exercise. And of course, if you want me to help you or any coaches, we have this Q&A. You can, if this happened to be the clarity that you want us to help you with, you can definitely bring this this part to a Q&A for us to help you. And then now, moving forward, I'm going to turn what you see in the growth work number 7, the flagship framework scripts, 2 pages, in a Canva presentation, the graphic form, where you can actually, this is going to become a presentation you can present to your ideal client. Okay, so of course I'm gonna, because I'm teaching this, so I'm gonna still have some of the demonstration for you guys to know what that is, so that way you can keep up where I'm at in the process. So the first part I'm gonna show you exactly in your growth work headline is to build curiosity. What does it look like from that from your paperwork into a graphic with the words? So this is what I meant by building curiosity. 3 steps to make your offer irresistible in presentation. So they want to know, oh, what's that 3 steps that can make my offer irresistible? And remember, I share with you guys, what is this whole entire webinar is about? It's about creating a presentation through Flagship Framework. So that's why I have the presentation as my keyword, to let people know what this webinar is all about. Presentation. Okay, so that is your hook as a building your curiosity. So now the next element is to share the main goal of the event. What is this entire webinar I'm going to share about important as a presentation is going to be doing for you as a main goal of the event? Is my goal is to give you the 3 key stories is going to be helping you overcome the limiting beliefs to encourage your ideal client to take action. So that's why I'm sharing that with you. And the second is to help you prepare the winning structure of your event presentation. That is my goal for this session, for my webinar. And then the next part is who. So this is the slides that you're going to call out your avatar, your ideal client. Who should be sitting here? So this is where I listed our ideal client for our launch lab are people who are creating courses. So of course, the content creator, course creator, coaches, a lot of coaches in our program, consultants, people that have products and services that usually are looking to market on social media. And then they're usually also product providers. So that's how you list all your possible ideal client. So this is not the place you put anybody, somebody, because that means nobody. So you need to call them out, either 3 or 5, or usually 3 to 5 is enough. You don't want to have a whole laundry list. People just don't even want to read it. So that's how you narrow this slides down for your ideal avatar. The next part is your origin story. So this is where I talked about how it got me here and how I got excited about teaching in the launch lab. So I'll be sharing that origin story with you. So for some of you, you already know my story. So just kind of, this is for people like first time to know me, you get to hear my background too. So before I start a story, you always want to, just kind of like when you're creating your content, marketing content before the event, you always follow the same formula: hook, story, call to action. So you guys are already very familiar with this format. So this is kind of my hook. How I sell my coaching with winning presentation structure. You see how I highlight those? This is kind of give you an idea that not only is your key points that to remind yourself what you're actually reading, and also to ingrain that in your audience, what you're going to be talking about moving forward. So that's why I highlight those keywords to not only remind myself what I'm about to say, but also let my audience know that's what the concept we're about to step into. So this is where I create a little bit of a kind of like a side note for you guys to let you know what I meant by overview of a framework. So this is what I'm going to share with you my story, why my got me excited about this topic. So basically, I would say, okay, I was from a social media clueless to social media clarity and implementation coach, and that's why I'm teaching growth work in this part of the Launch Lab. And so that's how I share kind of like a continuous of my hook. And then this is the story. In the story format, like what Mike shared on Sunday, you have before, discovery, and after. What is the after result? So that's how I started my before. I joined the online knowledge business. So I was in the midlife career crisis. I got laid off. A year after COVID hits, so my real estate coaching business ended because nobody go to seminar anymore, and the company would not be able to spend $2 million like Tony and Dean that could put out the screen to get people from 150 countries to come to the event, quickly turn things into an online business. So not a lot of company can do that. So that part of my coaching business ended. So I was like, well, I hit a career reset. So now I'm at that point. I mean, I'm in the mid 40. I want to find a career is meaningful. I no longer just want to follow just whatever makes sense, money sense or whatever. It's great, but it doesn't last very long. It doesn't feel meaningful. So that's why I got myself trained in Tony Robbins coaching school, because I feel like he is the person that are still doing meaningful work even 30 years after. So that is the mentor I want to follow, because at this point in my life, I want to follow a meaningful career. So that's how I choose him to be my mentor. And then, okay, now I become a trained Robin Madonna's coach. And I got my first client 4 months after, because I was working really hard in that 4 months. And then I was like, great, I can just duplicate that process. If I can do that for 4 months, just to follow the same process, I can do that just for the rest of my coaching career, no problem. But I did not have a clear marketing strategy. So I could not measure what marketing content works. I kind of just throw it out there and crapshoot, and hopefully something will work. So my leads weren't consistent. So that's how was my before story. I got concerned. Can I really do this? It's like my leads weren't consistent, even though it started out great, but I could not see this can be a sustainable business because I did not have my marketing straightened out. So that's how I lay out my before story. As you can see, each bullet point here are my key action step. So I would recommend when you're first starting out, yeah, you may not have be able to master your before, discovery, and story in 3 slides, because that will rely on a lot of your memory to remember your story straight. But like for me, as I create this presentation for you guys as a beginner, so for this story, it wouldn't be like what Mike shared on Sunday, would be 3 slides. But later on, when you master it, you can make that as 3 slides. But I'm just make it simple for you. So this is where the first part of my story before. And my first then discovery is, okay, all my coaching friends from Tony Robbins schools are falling out because nobody know how to market properly. So at that point, I happened to browse through the Facebook and saw the news feed of Tony and Dean's Own Your Own Future Challenge. So that's how I went. And that's when I discovered, oh my goodness, there's a new skills I need. It's called marketing online, right? And then that's when I realized I need to do my video. I had to go live as a coach. I cannot be shy and just do one-on-one coaching. So what am I trying to do it here? As you can see, I'm trying to touch on the story. I'm trying to link my story to my framework number 1, because what's doing the framework number 1, you got to believe, treasure is out there. You got to have that courage, take an action to believe that you can do this. So that's kind of why I put it here for you guys to actually, when we walk through this presentation, what's my intention. You can think about your framework when you're delivering those story, to keep your story straight. So that's kind of how I follow my storyline based on my framework. And now my discovery story, of course, part of my discovery story still, I joined a mastermind group. That was when I was part of being invited to a mastermind group during the Project Next implementation process. And that was the time I learned about Facebook organic marketing implementation. And that's when I met Mike, Lucy, and Aiden. At that time, I was still a student. I was learning how to set up my Facebook organic marketing funnels. So, but at that time, I had no idea I had to create event presentation, or just like you guys, I was very overwhelmed. Just building the Facebook funnel alone was already overwhelmed enough. So at that time, I just set it up and ran an event. Didn't know I was running an event until I set it up and somebody came. Then I know I have an event to run. But at that time, I decided to just go ahead and run with it. It's just I want to know if what I'm learning this new skill, people will come. So that's how I got my first event. Go through this, set up those funnel. I have first event have 10 people came to my event, and that was when I was implementing the organic Facebook funnel, and then find my ideal client. At that time, I was finding enough, but not so narrowed down. Just kind of got it, kind of not. So that's kind of why I want to touch on those two frameworks in my my framework. The second step and third step. And then the rest of the part is when I fine tune it, I know there's other parts I didn't do. Is all these parts I didn't do at that time. So second time I had more time to prepare. I had about a month, and then about a month to prepare. I refine it and repeat, and then this time I using the structured presentation. So this time I want to test what the ideal client will come if I follow that structure. Since I already know how to build the funnel's already built from the previous event I ran, and I know how to fine tune to find my ideal client. And this time, those 3 steps are already done. So I was mostly focused on getting this 6 steps done in that 1 month preparation time. So I had to basically create a marketing content, create a presentation, and come up with my offer. And I also need to learn to know how to follow up after event. So at this time, I already got 3 paid clients. So that's, as you can see, my story covered the whole framework. That was my origin story already. I already covered. And this is just like a little caveat on top. You know, I got invited to the team because I was working so hard. So I got invited to the team to see if I can help other students do the same, because I already walked the path before them. And then that's basically this is almost like improvised social proof. This is not just like I did it myself, and I actually did it together with the team. Together we can accomplish so much more. I no longer need to run the business alone. The part I hate to do or I'm not good at, other people in my team are good at, will take over that part of the process. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's the reason why I want to share that with people. Not only you get to have a paid client, what is beyond the paid client? You get to work with, you can collaborate, with your people in the launch lab. And the same things, like I collaborate with other business owners. We actually could accomplish so much more. And this is like a bonus after story, kind of like, oh, now we even get into partner with the legends. Without Lucy, there's no way I would be able to do this, right? So that's just kind of give people, you don't have to do this. I'm just giving you, because we have people have level 2, 3, we even have people at level 4 launches here. So I want to add a little bit, at their level, but you don't have to worry about throwing the bonus after, or you could just say pay client or whatever. You could just stop there of your success story. Okay, so that is the origin story part of it. The next part, you want to give the conclusion of your origin story. It was like, yeah, why are you sharing the story with me? What does it have to do with anything with me, right? So this part, you want to organize it for them to connect with the audience. So you want to let them know, even though we are not sharing the same story, but we have the same vision, the same path, we all want to get there. Because through the using the Facebook, you get a clear path to your online business, your online success through Facebook. And that is the reason why you should care. Because not only our framework, as you can see, but I didn't say like our framework, is not only you can see, I go through this framework through planning, I go through personal branding, I'm making a progress. And I share with you my planning, I strengthen my beliefs, and I can do it. And by building the Facebook funnel, because after I've done building my Facebook funnel, I build my confidence. I can do this. What am I sharing here? First step of my framework, right? As you can see, I'm secretly embedded my framework in my presentation slide. And then this is kind of, I highlighted for you so you can see this is what I'm doing. This is my purpose of doing this overview of my the story. So the personal branding is creating brand through content, driving traffic to my event. What am I talking about here? The stage of personal branding is creating content, right? So we can drive traffic to the event. What's the step 3? Big step, part of it is to create a winning structure of the event so we can convert sales. What am I doing here? I'm actually talk about creating the presentation structured again to convert sales. So as you can see, I'm touch on all parts of my framework in this slide to give people idea why they should care if they follow this system. So that's how I share actually I'm always forgetting about, there's one last part before I talk to you guys. Hold on. So one last part. Last but not least, you want to give people the gift. This is to anchor your audience to the end of your event. So yeah, your story is great. And then, okay, I can see the point why that's so important to follow that system to be successful on Facebook. But like, all right, so how that worked for me. So this is kind of how you want to anchor that, make sure they stay until the event by offering them some gifts. Just spending a little bit of time today sitting here an hour of the webinar with me, if you sit through until the end of the event, this is what you're gonna get. Because since remember this entire event, my webinar is about presentation. So your gift will have to be relevant to this particular topic, which is related to presentation. So what do people really need as a gift that's relevant to the presentation? So that's why I said, I will give you the winning presentation script. And I will not only give it to you, I'm going to give you the template. I'm going to give you a tutorial video how to use it, right? So that's what people say, oh, then I want it. So that's how get people to stay, because they already are intrigued of your story, how this whole thing works. But now, be able to get those 2 gifts, they need to stay till the end of your event to get it. Okay, so that is the first part of the flagship framework, the hook part of it. So I purposely going very slow for 2 reasons, because I wake up at 2 and also need to make sure you guys understand the concept. So far so good. I know if it's the first time you do it, probably a little, but it's all good. Okay, great. Awesome. So now people in the trial launch, you can relax. Moving forward, you just listen as in your subconscious mind, as what Tony's always said, the first time you're learning things, you capture the pattern. The second time you learn things, you utilize the pattern. So you will recognize the pattern right now. Okay, how might my story fit in that? That's all you need to do. You don't need to like implement. The third time is you create. So right now, you just listen in and then taking the subconscious notes. So you have that first layer of learning, okay? So that's how you're able to get comfortable. The verbiage, the framework, and then the language wouldn't be so foreign moving forward. Okay. So now, after we are giving people the gift, now the fun part is the limiting story. And why do we want to put the limiting story in? Because you know how people, I personally hate the handle objection, and because I never cover in my event, and I have to handle after event, and then through that week, it's just very, to me, it was very dreadful. So if I can handle them in advance, and this is actually what Tony is teaching in his mastermind, master influence class, you got to handle the objection up front before they even ask you. So that way people that, oh, you thought about my my limitation or my belief before I even ask you. So they feel like you're well prepared. And that is the perception you want your ideal clients to have, is you're so well prepared. You are even reading their mind by handling their objection up front. So that's why we are providing those 3 limiting beliefs here. The first part is why this solution. Why is that there? If you're in a nutrition program or health and wellness, people will like, well, there's so many programs out there right now. Why should I choose your method? Why is your unique method is so appealing? I should choose yours method instead of other people's method, right? So this is when you have to pull out the most appealing or compelling of your solution to this part of it. And then I'll share more of a story. There's a lot more story I want to share with you. I'll give you some example. It will make sense. So as you can see, the first part, we're going to talk about why this solution. Why is your solution good for me? How's it gonna, the solution is gonna solve my immediate, I'm gonna emphasize immediate problem. Because most people come to your event, they have an immediate problem they need to solve right here, right now. That's why they come to the event. People don't solve the problem like they have in the 2 or 3 years down the road. They come to the event is because they have pain in their ass. Excuse my language, and that's why they come to your event, okay? So that's why we need to solve that problem right away. And then again, same thing, we're gonna have a hook, is why using Facebook to drive traffic to event. So what am I implying here? I'm implying my Facebook organic funnel. So that's why I'm gonna use my step 2 to handle this objection, because it's easy for people to understand. Everybody have Facebook. So I'm using that as example. So as you can see, this is the same story what I share with you in origin story, but right now it's like playing the movie. Before I just give you an overview of the movie, but now I'm gonna zoom in this particular part of the story that is relevant to building Facebook organic funnel. Why I choose Facebook. So I'm gonna zoom in this part of story, just more of a detailed story. So at that time I was writing my course as well. And I have Mastermind, so you guys know, as a third-party site that hold my course, and some of you probably already use it. And then, so at that time I was pretty stubborn. I want to make sure I have my courses done. I completed, and it took me 3 weeks. And then I just thought, oh, as soon as I have my course, then it should automatically sell itself, right? As you know, it's very wrong. And then, so now I discovered, throughout the learning, doesn't matter, all platforms have the same problem. I look at all the platforms I was on. I have my business website. Well, that's a standalone website. I have Instagram. Yes, I have Instagram, but that was just for eyeball kind of engagement. And then LinkedIn. Yeah, I can using LinkedIn to build my credibility. It's more of a professional site. And then I have Mastermind hold my course. What am I going to teach? I still got to find out a platform to teach. I was like, well, there's no other platform that can do that. So that's how I know, Facebook become the best solutions, because it will you will provide the solution for all. So it's not only free place to get the client, because I don't need to drive traffic to Facebook. Facebook will do that for me because they want to bring people to Facebook. So 2 million a day of people on Facebook for at least 30 minutes. So I have Facebook on my back end driving traffic. All I need to do is focus on building my funnel, make sure my marketing system is ready. How cool is that? You're going to have Facebook partner with you in a sense. So I can start building know, like, and trust. And I can also teach. So Facebook complete this part for me. And that's why I choose Facebook. Why this is the solution. Now you guys got what I'm saying? So that's why I say I choose Facebook to build my business for the marketing part of it. So the second part of the limiting belief story, we're going to tackle, crash that internal block on the time. I don't have time to do this. Or some people have skill, am I good enough? Or do I have enough resources? But for right now, I want to tackle the one of the most popular one that you guys actually have us handle before you join the Launch Lab yourself. So you can refer back to that conversation you have within one of us, and you can kind of understand, how we handle that. But this is what you're going to be handling that in the future for yourself. So I'm going to be tackling time. As you can see, I'm trying to do that on purpose. So it's not only remind myself, Athena, what slide am I on? I'm going to be tackling on limiting belief, internal block, time. So I will be using my framework number 5 to tackle that limiting belief. As you can see, I'm already soft selling my entire framework by mentioning number 2. Now I'm going to be using number 5. So people have a glimpse of what my framework looks like. So this is what my question, you guys have asked on Sunday. Well, I don't have clients. Who am I going to share? So you can either use your mentor story or your colleague story, or if you have helped a friend, maybe it's not a pay program yet, but you have tested out your framework with a friend, you can use their story. So we usually encourage you not to use your own story over and over again, because that's only gonna put doubt in people's head. Oh, is your frameworks only work for you, nobody else? You never have tried it somebody else before. So that's why you want to do the best you can to at least have your accountability partner listen to your framework. That's what the trial launch is for, is to have your accountability partner listen to your framework, walk through that process with you. Now you can use that as an example to write this part of the story. That's what the trial launch is before beta launch. So this is the story of Mike. So as you guys know, Mike was social media hater, and then now he become a social media producer. So he used to believe people on the phone, they're just, all the time. They don't talk to each other in person anymore. There's no personal connection. And then, so that's why he only used social media at the time to just send picture to the family, and doesn't even read the feeds or join any group. It just, I don't have anything to do with social media. So that was his before story. So until later on, he got into the business. It's like, well, I got to find a way to leverage Facebook, because everybody's, using the social media to build business. I got to figure out a way to make social media to work for me. And that's how he come up with the master. He had the master of very specific tactics for Facebook strategy, and then attracting the clients using the intentional marketing content. So what am I trying to do here? My step 5 of a framework. I'm already telling people this is what that is. So basically the after story is, after using the Facebook as a clear intention, and then he's able to create a clear plan to using the Facebook funnel to drive the traffic to the event. And that's how he able to attract the client using the hook, story, call to action to create the marketing content. See, we'll talk about marketing content again, because our step 5 is marketing content. So as you can see, we're constantly mentioning that particular framework. So now limiting belief number 3 is external. This could be like, would this worth my money? Or it could be a status, or my spouse, will my life improve? Because people want to make sure the money they spend is going to be better than their current situation. So what does my future looks like? So we need to tackle this part. That's why I choose the money part as one of the examples, because that's huge for a lot of people that you're probably going to be encountered this a lot. So I'll give you 2 examples for number 3, because this is usually the hardest one for people to handle in the very beginning. So this is example number 1 for your limiting belief number 3 story. External block, money. So how am I going to use that to handle the money objection? I'm going to tap into my step 1 of the framework. This is all about beliefs. So would the program be worth my money I spend? So remember, if you happen to remember our step 1 of our framework, treasure is out there, right? So that's kind of how I link that part of our story. Is it worth my money? So how I link that story is using our client in our program. So this is Esmeralda's story. Before joining LaunchLab, bought a program for $10,000 and expecting more hand holding with the amount of money spent. But it was a lot of things are great information, but they're just too advanced to implement them all at her level of the launch. So even though the intention is great, but it's just not able to use it, it becomes useless. So then she discovered there's a much more affordable program like LaunchLab, teaching the same thing, but it's more adjust to my level of learning. So it's also break down to small step. And then so I can actually see the progress. As Tony said, what is the happiness is progress. So that's why I'm able to see the progress a lot faster. And then why is it worth my money? And this is exactly from where's my money with my level of my step is I'm so far ahead than those people still in the program. I can see my path towards reaching my goal now. And this is her statement. So to be able to find the right focus, I have a tight community. I have my accountability partner, and I have my coaches. I have those Q&A sessions. I have those growth work sessions. I am able to build my certainty. Yes, I can do this. I can see it now. I can see my vision turn into reality. And that's how I straining their limiting belief, by injecting those mindset, by those solid proof from the statement from the first client, or it could be your accountability partner. So that is the first example. The second example for your limiting belief number 3 story is status. Okay, it's worth my money. So my situation is going to improve? Will I be doing better than before? So, and then, or people can see me as authority. That's usually the very, very common thing for people who are coaches. Like people can see me as good as, what I'm teaching. Am I good enough? So that's what I'm going to tackle this part, is using Tony Robbins' story. Because a lot of time, the coaches that you mentioned, if it's not big enough, they probably don't recognize. If they cannot recognize the coaches that you're talking about, they cannot connect with your story. So since Tony is tapped into 150 countries, so it's safe to say, and then plus we all screen people into our program, so we all know, most of you already know Tony Robbins or coming from Tony Robbins program. So that we already have some kind of a connection, through the connection we have with the common person, which is Tony Robbins. So when Tony is even doing that, his before story is reserving a seminar room for 500 people when he first started out. Only 7 people came. And his staff was even recommended, just cancel the event, refund those people money. But the discovery for Tony was, you know what? My passion's here to serve. Regardless, I'm going to run an event like there's 500 people in this room. And what's the after story? And now he got 50 million people globally that with this transformational experience that he's touching so many people. Even Tony had to start small. And then you guys hear that story. He said that over and over again. So it's like it's not a story is coming from me. You guys actually heard that story. So you're able to connect that click, right? So he just starting small and repeat the same process over and over and over and over again until he get to where he's at. So now this is how you complete your level 2 and level 3 if you haven't been level 3 too, your hook and story part of the process. So let me see, where am I in the process? I just want to snap out of it. Okay, great. So I'm actually pretty good on timing. I'm a little bit surprised, but I just want to if you guys want to have some couple questions.
Yeah, there's a question. There's 2 questions actually.
Okay.
I see that. Hold on a minute. Where's my question? The first question was from Deborah. Ask you, how long should level 1 trial launch be?
How long? So are you
Should be-
talking about your how long you run your trial launch?
Yes.
The webinar?
Yes.
1 hour? 45 minutes, 1 hour. Usually I say 1 hour is when we're starting out, you want to give yourself a longer time. So that way you can actually test it out. But once you get really good at it, your probably webinar will be 45 minutes for your content. All the things I just covered, a hook and story. You're going to leave that 15 minutes for your offer.
Does she have an offer level 1?
Never mind. For level 1, you don't have to worry about it. For level 2, you will. You will practice your offer. We'll cover more of that. I don't want to mess with the concept because I don't want to touch that part yet. But I will share more with you and in the next session, next growth work. But I just want to at least answer the hook and story part of it. Is that clear for everybody? Or if you just
Doreen says yes. Is there anybody who's not clear about that?
I know Doreen, you listen, this is like a second time.
Right.
So for the person that people that listen, so no offer needed for level 1. No. Your job at trial launch, you need to hone in on your framework. You need to make sure that your main job is get your tech, navigation, tackle. That is your main goal, nothing else. And then if you are able to finish, so of course, we want you to practice this part of the presentation, the flagship framework. You just need to practice the hook part of it.
Athena, I want to address Georgia's concern. Now, Georgia was with us last year, and she is saying that it seems to her, there's a little confusion because it seems to her that the system seems to be changing. We're still doing the 9 Ps as far as I'm concerned. She used the model from May last year to create her workshop, and she's saying that it's different now. So she wants, she spent 2 months doing that, and she's concerned that she has to start all over again. Can you address that for her, please?
Well, as we're constantly improving the program to deliver what works the best out there, just like we never deliver any outdated information. If it's not working, we need to change it quickly. And that's why we have seen what is our mentors are doing, and then we changes as we go. When we see what is working in the current market, not yesterday's market. And that's why we need to take action and change it quickly so we can make sure your framework still works.
But I see it as the same framework. I mean, I don't think.
Yes, but we're using the 3 limiting beliefs story now. Yes, and that is the difference.
That's the difference. Okay.
Yes, we need to handle objection up front. Otherwise, a lot of time you'll be handling objections. You'll be hammer all those objections after your event, and it's really hard to handle because you're already too late. They already have objection built up in your event. It's like a tsunami of objection, and now you try to tackle that. So
we
that's
just
why
want-
we want to have you handle in your event.
Right. And we just want to make sure that level 1 and 2 don't have to worry about this yet. It's
No,
just
hold
that-
on. Level 1, you only, I can pull out that slide one more time.
Yeah. So what you just said to Georgia, they don't have to worry about right now.
If you are, hold on. This is framework number 2.
I don't want to confuse anybody.
No, yeah, just let me, I'll stop sharing. It's too slow when I try to move the slides and share the screen at the same time. Okay, so if you happen to be at level 1, all you have to do is until where the GIF is. This is the hook. And if you happen to be at level 2, you want to complete all the steps. You want to have a hook. You also need to have 3 limiting belief stories done. Because you already have ideal clients sitting in your event. You're level 2 or level 3.
Okay. Okay. So Deborah says, do you recommend Zoom or Facebook Live for the trial?
I would say Zoom, because later on, you got to think about what you're going to do later on. So whatever you're going to do later on in the beta, the public launch, that's what you're practicing on in your level 1 trial launch. That's what's for, is to prepare you for your future launch. So you need to practice on Zoom. Zoom to Facebook group, your own Facebook group. But right now is your accountability partner. So whatever your group with your accountability partner, that's where you're gonna run your trial launch in that group with your accountability partners.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody else, so good. So today is just more of a deep dive on the concept part of it. So again, on Friday and Saturday, you definitely need to watch this a few times. That's for sure. So for Friday and Saturday, we're gonna have content workshops. It's not the same workshop. It's a different. It's a workshop because the information is so much. We break it down to 2 days, so you're able to digest, implement, and actually get a hang of it. So that's why today I'm still giving you more information to prepare you for upcoming content workshops. As you can see, we're preparing starting with the mastermind with this content. Now growth work, you have more content to tell us, and then you're gonna have 2 other sessions. Is because this concept is so deep. We want to make sure we break down to even smaller for you guys to be able to absorb, digest, and to understand it and use it. So that's why we break it down even smaller pieces. Cool?
It just seems like a lot, but it's just